but I'm about to get back home. Can we talk tomorrow? And I said, sure, fine.
That was some total of what he had to say was he's about to get home to Moselle, and can we talk tomorrow, correct?
Yes, sir.
We put States 451 up on the screen. And right here, is that your writing right there?
That's my handwriting, yes, sir.
And that says Alex M., and those are the defendant's calls, is that right?
The bottom one is him calling me and me telling him I'm on the pool pump. Mm-hmm. The next one is me calling him back and telling me he's about to get to his mama's. Mm-hmm. And then the next one up here is me trying to call him after that text that he didn't answer. And then the top one is me calling him back after he didn't answer and talking to him for those couple minutes.
All right. And then that one in the middle, that's just an irrelevant conversation with some other person?
Just a friend of mine who I told his name was probably coming out today. So I told him that he was on my phone.
We did scratch out his number.
That's right, yes, sir.
Now we did.
Yes, sir. I felt like his name would probably come up today, and he should know that.
Just go about your evening after that? Did you just go about your evening after that?
Pretty shortly after that, I went on to bed. My wife stayed up, but I went on to bed shortly after that.
How'd you find out?
I was asleep. My phone's always kind of sit beside the bed. I could hear it buzzing, but I really wasn't paying it any attention. My wife comes in kind of, just hysterical. She says, you got to wake up, you got to wake up. And I don't remember if she was on the phone with Randy's wife or Randy himself. She's trying to tell me what's going on, and I'm looking at my phone, and I've got a text from a person I knew in Hampton that's texting me saying, hey, give me a call. I got to tell you something before you hear it somewhere else. It was a person that was in the county government down there that I knew that was just trying to get word to me before I heard it somewhere else. My wife, I don't think I respond to that person or her text immediately. My wife is telling me what's going on. I just told her, I said, I'll get some clothes. I got to go to Moselle. We started trying to call our daughter right at about 11 o'clock. Started trying to call our children, tell them what was going on. I don't even know how much my wife and I spoke about it. I mean, she knew I was leaving. I got in the car, I went straight to Moselle, grabbed some clothes and went straight to Moselle.
How long does that take?
From Columbia, about an hour and 40 minutes or so. I mean, I called some different people on the way that I thought needed to know. I mean, repeatedly tried to call my daughter. She was extremely close. She is and was extremely close to Buster and Paul. And, we couldn't get her to answer, called her boyfriend, just repeatedly calling her. I think I talked to Randy on the way down, but I can't say for sure I did, but I know I talked to somebody in their family on the way down just to tell them I was on the way.
About what time did you get to Moselle?
About 1 o'clock in the morning.
Other family and friends were arriving then too?
Already had arrived, I believe, yes, sir. I mean, when I got there, I went through the main gates. I could see, I don't know that I knew at that point that this had occurred at the kennels, but I could see that there was tons of activity there as I passed by to go to the main gate, and when I turned in the main gate, I was on the road headed up to the house. You don't go very far, and you can turn right to go to the kennels. I almost was going to turn and go down to the kennels, and I think John, Marvin, and Randy were walking out and kind of waved off and said, "Go to the house."
Is that where you went?
Yes, sir.
Was the defendant there?
He was, yes, sir. Yeah,
You talked to him?
I did. I walked in, hugged his neck, and cried. Didn't know what to say.
Hugged his neck and cried.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people there coming out to support him, as you would expect, correct?
Yes, sir. There were a lot of the lawyers that he practices law with, several family members, some friends of his that I knew. There were a lot of people already in the house, yes, sir.
Did you stay there during the early morning hours as a friend, supporting your friend?
Yes, sir, till 5:30 or so in the morning. 4:35, I don't know. Everybody was shocked and destroyed, and times I felt like it stood still. So I don't know exactly what time it was, but sometime 4 or 5 o'clock that morning, everybody decided it would be best for Alec and Buster to go get some sleep, or at least try to, and not stay there that night. And so I went back to Bamberg and slept in my office.
Did you return to Moselle the next day after getting some sleep?
I did, about 9 o'clock that next morning.
Were you there as much as you could be at Moselle or wherever you were needed over the next few days in the aftermath of all of this?
Yes, sir. I was there almost entirely the next 2 days.
At any point, did you ever have any conversation with the defendant about what he did that night?
Not really, no, sir.
What do you mean by not really?
I didn't ask him. I didn't want to know what he found. I didn't want him to have to describe that to me. I didn't want him to have to relive it, so I didn't ask him about it.
Didn't ask him.
No, sir.
It's only natural.
Yes, sir. I was there as a friend, supporting him and his family. I didn't need to know the details. I knew all I needed to know is that two people that I loved were gone.
Certainly weren't going to ask him about the stupid issue with the fees in this time. Either.
No, sir. Not at all. Didn't know there was an issue with the fee. I did not know there was an issue with the fee at that time, so I didn't have anything to ask him.
Over the next few weeks, did you do what you could do to be a supportive friend?
I did. Yes, sir. I tried to call him even more often. If I was anywhere close to Hampton, I tried to stop by and check on him. I tried to make him go places and do things. Not much, but I felt like he needed to get out. I was worried he was going to hurt himself. I was worried he was going to kill himself, just like I think a lot of people were, family and lawyers, his partners. And so I think we all talk regularly about keeping an eye on him, and about being there for him.
After a few weeks go by, the shock starts to abate just a little bit.
It still hadn't abated.
Still hadn't abated, just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
At some point, does the defendant call you